Hello and welcome back. My name is Elise. Today I've got a new video for you featuring some monochromatic coloring and the A Crafter's Heart stamp set from Trinity Stamps. If you want to see how I made this card, then keep watching. So to start out, I need to, I already had this panel, it was a A2 panel, but I needed to get it a little bit smaller. I wanted to have a white border. So I'm using some A2 layer dies just to get that perfectly cut out. I prefer to use these dies than to cut it freehand. So I have got that and I've got my stamp, and I knew I was only going to stamp half of my stamp on here, so you can see how I've got that lined up in the Misti. I'm sorry that my lights kind of make a reflection in the Misti door, but I've got that lined up, and I am going to ink up this stamp with Gina K Amalgam ink, and that is Copic friendly because I'm going to do some Copic coloring today. So I hit that twice just to get a really good stamped image. Take that out of my Misti, and then I will do some cleanup off camera and we can move on to the coloring. So I've got the coloring sped up here so that you don't watch me color for nearly as long, but basically I just picked shades of BG markers, some color combos that I had. Also, one set of B markers, so I think it's B01, B00, which kind of is light enough that it could skew towards this monochromatic look. The Trinity Stamps logo is kind of this teal aqua color, and so I wanted to use similar colors on this card. I don't want to talk too much about it. I think we're all probably coronavirused out, but I think it's really important to send people cards right now, and so I've made this card that I'm going to send to a crafty friend of mine. I think it's just a really nice time to send some cards. I know Jennifer McGuire is doing a card challenge. Card making is my superpower, and is just trying to send out more cards. So I'm going to try to do the same, send out more cards, touch base with family and friends and loved ones over the next couple weeks. I think especially as everybody is spending so much time at home, to open your mailbox and get a card would just be such a lovely treat. So with that in mind, that's kind of the cards that I'm making nowadays. So just going through, I think I end up using maybe 4 or 5 different combos, and I'm just trying to spread them out so that they're all not directly on top of each other. So just using regular old Copic coloring, nothing fancy. I lay down my darkest to my lightest, and for a lot of these I only use 2 colors just because these images are quite small. I also did bring in C2 and C0 just to add a little bit of gray on some of these things that I wanted to be white, so that they could be two-toned. Now, while I'm coloring, I thought I'd do a little bit of a story time. Some of you might have seen it on my Instagram. I did post, and I guess this is just something you need to know about me that you wouldn't know about me because you don't know me in real life. I am very clumsy, constantly have a bruise on me, walk into things all the time. And so I posted on my Instagram the other day, I have a bruised tailbone. So that's a whole story in and of itself. A week ago when this video was posted, I went to get a pedicure with my mom, and it was a rainy day. So I wore rain boots into the nail place. And so obviously I got a pedicure and I couldn't put back on my rain boots. So they gave me, those little foam flip-flops, the disposable ones. And keep in mind, it's raining. So I leave the nail place and I'm walking out, And I've got on my foam flip-flops that they're seriously made with like craft fun foam. There's nothing to them. And it's raining. And I slip, and it is a colossal wipeout. And I land pretty much in a V. So my tailbone directly hit the asphalt. And I just got up. Well, first I sat there and I laughed. Like, it's funny to me at this point how often and frequently I do things like this. It shouldn't be funny. It's not funny. I'm just like a walking punchline of falling and laughing at myself. Anyways, so I'm like sitting there laughing. I was like, I can do it. I can get up. So I get up and I like walk really, really slowly to my car, and I go home, and I'm just talking to my husband. I'm like, I can't believe I fell. And he was basically like, I can believe that you fell because you're very clumsy. So I just thought that was really, really funny, though it has slightly hindered my crafting because the chair that I use, so I craft in my dining room, which we have a very small home. I don't have a separate craft room, and so I just sit at my dining room. Quite frankly, we don't eat there. So it was as good a spot as any, but my dining room chairs are not overly comfortable. So it has somewhat hindered my crafting and also hindered my streak of 30 days of coloring. I've ended up missing a couple days here and there just because I don't want to sit in the chair for that long, but that's okay. I feel like I am still in the spirit of that challenge. Are you participating in the 30 days of coloring challenge? If you're unfamiliar with that, that is a challenge that Kathy Rakusin puts on, where she'll just pick a month and do coloring basically every day for that month. You can, whatever medium you want, you can color one image, you can color a whole, a whole stamp set's worth, make a card, whatever you want to do, but it just isn't trying to encourage folks to color a little bit every day. And I think it's really fun. So I am just wrapping up this coloring. In the end, I really loved how this looked using all of the same Copic marker color family. Will probably do more of this monochromatic coloring in the future just because I thought it was really fun. Let me know in the comments down below if you have done this technique. I'd love to see what you've made with it. In a second here, I will show you in a slow down of what all of the Copic markers that I used, in case you want to know what any of them were specifically. Now I can move on to putting this card together. So I've got the sentiment. The hello is separate from the crafty friend in this stamp set, so I just comboed them together. And I'm using VersaFine ONYX black ink, which is a really crisp black ink, and just a acrylic block to get that down. I'm using my grid mat and the grids on that stamp set to line it up straight. And for once, not using my Misti. Then what I am going to do is I've got my card base here, and I am going to use a whole bunch of foam tape. I got my Big Mama roll here, and I'm going to lay that down and just cover the entire back panel. So here I am peeling off that adhesive backing so that I can put it on to my card base. I find it most economical to buy in these giant foam rolls, and one of those rolls usually lasts me about a year. So now that I've done that, I could have left it, but I decided that I wanted to add a little bit of flair, a little something extra. So using a Tonic AQUA shimmer pen, I covered most of like the larger images in a little bit of shimmer pen, adding just a little bit of glitter. And then I will go in with the Tonic Nuvo glaze and again just cover a select few things with this. It's kind of like a Glossy Accents product. Oh yeah, I did realize there's a little ruler I did not color, so I'm just going in and coloring that. And then adding some shimmer. And so the Tonic Crystal Nuvo glaze, it's kind of like Glossy Accents, except I much prefer it to Glossy Accents. Glossy Accents is very thick. And so sometimes I feel like I have to like death squeeze to get it out. And this is much thinner and it's very much like a free flowing product. And it comes out of the bottle really easily. And I've never had it clog on me. I really, really love this product. In fact, this bottle, which is my first bottle, is almost used up and I already have a backup in my stash ready and waiting. I have all of my products that I used today linked down below, including this Nuvo glaze. If you want to try it out yourself, everything's linked down below as always. And that is the card for today. Let me know what you thought of it, if you like monochromatic coloring. And I hope that everyone is staying well and that you are maybe getting a little bit of extra crafty time in right now. Thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to see more, and I'll catch you in the next one.